What's good, everyone? I'm basketball coach Tyler Matthews, and today I'm going to show you how to translate your training to games. Being able to do the things you do in practice and then taking them to the game is tough to do, but it does take time and it is possible to learn. This video will help you do just that. Let's get to it. So the first thing, guys, is going game speed. And a lot of people don't understand what game speed is until they usually get a trainer or they just watch their own film and they see how much faster they're going in a game versus a training session or a practice. And you guys have to make sure that you're going the same speed, whether it's in a game or whether it's in a training or whether it's in a practice. So I'll give you an example. A lot of kids I train, sometimes they'll go through a drill. So for instance, we're gonna do a drill where we do a lift. Someone lifts up to the wing. I have to catch it, rip, going baseline, one dribble, finish right hand, okay? I'll show you an example of game speed and not so game speed. So first one, we'll go not so game speed. We'll go here. Right? Even though I did everything correctly, I still went off my left foot, I still went with my right hand, and I ripped. That wasn't game speed, right? If you're warming up, it's great to do. Get your feel for it, get your blood flowing. But once you guys are ready to go, you have to make sure that you're going hard every rep. And so I'll give you an example of game speed now. So as you can see, much different pace, much different speed, explosiveness, focus, and detail. And so same drill, but different intensity. And so what I'm saying is if you do every rep and every drill with that intensity, that will actually improve your game. No matter if the drill is good or bad, it does not matter, you will get better. But I see so many kids, they keep doing the same drills, same stuff, but they're not going game speed, and they wonder why they're not getting better or they're not translating their training to games. It's because of that. It doesn't matter about the drill, it matters about the player doing the drill. And so if you're going hard on every rep, then you will get better, and that training will translate to games because you're going at that speed that is necessary to blow by defenders and real people in real life. And so that's why I always tell my players to visualize defenders and make sure where are they going to be on the court, and that's where we're going to next. And the next thing, guys, is we got to master the simple things first. And what do I mean by that? First is always triple threat. And so a lot of people think triple threat is, oh, I can shoot, I can drive, I can pass. But really it's having the footwork behind the triple threat. And so what I mean by that is a lot of players, for instance, when they do a rip through, instead of going here, first step going toward the basket, their first step is usually to the side, and they're already starting a wide driving angle to not get a layup. And it's just as simple as that. All you got to do, instead of going outward, you go inward toward the basket. Same thing if I'm ripping left. Instead, a lot of people, they go from here and their left foot goes outward. And so they're driving wide versus at a sharp angle. All right, and again, that's just one example of a very simple thing that a lot of players do not do. In order to be above average, you just got to do what the majority don't do. And honestly, players will be a lot better if they just work on their footwork, making sure they're taking sharp angles. Another thing is just being able to make layups. A lot of players try to work on their moves. For instance, they try to work on their behind the back or their through the legs, but they can't make a left hand layup consistently or a right hand layup consistently, depending on their dominant hand. So I need you guys to make sure that you're making 5 layups in a row, 5 left hand layups in a row, off your right foot, off your left foot, off of 2 feet, off of 2 feet. You know what I mean? And you guys can't stop until you perfect that. Master those simple things first. And then a lot of kids don't even know how to do a pull-up right. I need you guys going left, right. When you're going right, pick off your right hip, shot. If I'm going left, when you rip through, and again, this goes back to the footwork that I was talking to in the beginning, you guys can't go wide. You got to go downhill toward the basket. It has to be right, left, shot. And then even timing it. You guys have to make sure that you're dribbling at the same time as your left foot, picking up on your right foot, shot. Or dribble on your right foot, pick up on your left foot, shot. And so these are very simple things, but if you do them every single rep and you never mess up on it, that will make you above average. So the third thing, guys, is knowing where the defense is. So when you're driving, let's just say you make a move, you're going to the middle of the basket or middle of the paint, we have to understand where the defense is actually going to be in a real game, especially when we're training by ourselves, because we want to do realistic moves all the time. So if we make a move going to the middle and the defender is most likely going to be on our right hip, we got to understand where the other 4 defenders are going to be. Okay? There's going to be a defender right here because usually your teammate's on that, either wing or he's in center. So already I'm going to be double teamed before I even get to the paint. And so that's why we work on gathers, whether it's a high pickup, get in the paint, or a low pickup, whatever it is. So there's 1 defender here, 1 defender on my right hip. Now where are the other 3 defenders? Usually there's a guy corner. So there's a guy on that block. Usually there's a guy that corner. There's another guy either close to him, right? Depending on if I have offensive player on the wing, offensive player on the wing, offensive player in that corner, and then offensive player on that block. So usually 1 defender there on that short corner, 1 defender on that block, 1 defender coming in to this side, and then 1 defender should be on that block as well. So as I drive, this guy's already coming in. So I have to make sure to gather right and then get in the paint. From here, my defender's here, help side usually comes to the front, in front of me, and then everyone's collapsing. So I usually will be triple teamed by the time I get here. And I'm not even 2 dribbles in yet. And so now, where do I have to look? I have my big right there for a drop-off pass if I can split it through these 2 defenders. I have a corner guy who might be lifting so that when I reverse pivot, I can hit him on the wing for a lift. Or these guys, since they're collapsing, I could possibly skip out to that corner or I could skip out to that wing. And so a lot of players don't understand this. Where are defenders going to be when you drive either middle or baseline? If I drive baseline, it's different. My big should be on that opposite block now so he doesn't clog the paint. If I'm driving, this guy could possibly reach in, and if he does reach in, that's an automatic kick out for a 3. If that's not open, right, let's just say that defender stays, the help side will rotate all the way to this block if they're a good defender, defensive team, and I'll be double teamed here, and I'll have a guy on my left hip. And that's why, okay, how do I do moves to actually finish in a game? Okay, we got a split, a spin, and split the defenders over the middle. We have a Euro, and then I finish on the other side of the rim. I have a pro hop, finish. So all these different moves only work if you understand why you're doing them. So if I'm here, I know the help side's gonna come. I either have to make a move going middle or go outside and then maybe pass it or reverse. So there's not a lot of options that are actually open when you're driving baseline or middle. You only have 2 or 3 options, but you gotta make them instantaneously and you gotta make them correctly. If you mess up or if you don't, then that's why you're turning the ball over, or you're not understanding when I'm driving this way, okay, these defenders are collapsing, I gotta kick, I gotta pass, I gotta throw it to my lift guy. So all those things you guys have to study and get better at. So the last thing, guys, is really just creating a move list, right? I like to call this a move list. And it's different for every player. Some players are comfortable doing different moves. And so when you're creating your move list, you have to understand how the defense works first. Depending on how the defense works and what position you play, then you have to understand, okay, if I'm a shooting guard or a point guard, I know I'm gonna create a lot. So when I'm driving middle, what are my moves? Okay, I got a spin move maybe. I got a floater, right? I got a overstep, come back, create that move list. And then that's kind of like your finishing in the paint move list. Now, what's my move list going in transition? Maybe I have a in and out. Maybe I have a cross jab. Maybe I have a push cross, right? Boom, here. But either way, you got to create your move list that's going to work in a game for your position, for your team. And so every single thing will be unique. And that's why I need you guys to study yourselves, study other players' film, and then understanding how the defense works. So you're only putting moves on that list that make sense for the actual game. So again, if you're driving middle, you know you're gonna get double teamed. So what moves do you need to learn? You need to learn that 1-2 low pickup before anything, or a high 1-2 pickup, right? And then once you figure out that, maybe you can learn how to split and then finish, right? But either way, the moves should be simple but effective. And that's what I'm saying. My varsity coach always used to say, function over flash, or sorry, substance over flash. And what that means is, it doesn't matter how flashy the move is. If the move doesn't work, it doesn't matter, right? What's our job? Put the ball in the basket. So how do we put the ball in the basket? Doesn't matter how we do it, but we got to do it. And so that's the end result. So whatever moves you guys decide to put on your list, you got to make sure that that elevates and improves, you know, the points that you put in the basket. And that's all that really matters. So if you want to increase your scoring average and get more minutes, please implement these 4 tactics right away. If you're new to Skills by Ty, click that subscribe button, and please let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. Again, I'm basketball mentor Tyler Matthews, and until then, keep putting in the work.